Hi everyone, welcome to TT Style, and today I have a TT tips video for you. I thought that seeing as it's summer holidays here, it's a really good time for me to address this topic. So this one is about how to stay healthy and active without actually feeling like exercising. During the summer holidays, I sometimes feel that I can find myself just lying around and not really doing any sort of exercise and not really staying healthy and staying active. So I have devised a bit of a list of ways that you can still be exercising without actually feeling like you're exercising. So it's sort of fun things that you can do either with your family or with your friends or just by yourself, which will sort of, make sure that you are staying exercised and staying healthy, but you don't actually feel like you need to go to the gym and, run on a treadmill or something. So let's begin. Alright, my number one tip is shopping, and I know shopping probably isn't the automatic answer when you think of exercising. Shopping seems to always think of something maybe people do to relax or just something people like to do for fun, but actually you do a lot of exercising when you're shopping. If you like to go on big long shopping sprees, like I do, you can sometimes find yourself in the shopping centre for about 3 to 4 hours, and that is a long time to be walking around to all the different shops. And if you think about it, you're actually exercising for that amount of time. Shopping is such a good way to exercise because you don't actually know that you're exercising until you go home and you think, oh my god, I was just walking around that shopping centre for 3 to 4 hours. Like seriously, it's a really, really good way. But also, if you do want to get even more exercise, maybe don't take the lift or take the escalator. Try and take the stairs if that's an option. Or maybe just try and walk around to try and get yourself, away from the lift or escalator. So that is definitely my first tip. My second tip is something that I love doing in spring, but also is a great thing to do in summer, and it is bike riding. Bike riding is such a great way to exercise because it's actually really fun because you get to see a lot of scenery, and also you don't need to do it just with yourself. You could either invite your friends, do it with your family. It's a really great way to sort of bond and talk when you're actually exercising. So definitely I recommend bike riding, and obviously, with bike riding, if you want to do more exercise, you can make your bike rides longer, maybe you can try and go up a few more hills, whatever. But if you're not, an amazing bike rider, you can just go maybe by the river or something and just have a very straight run and just, bike ride along a very straight surface and not need to worry about hills and stuff like that. That is definitely my second tip. Alrighty, so my third tip is a little bit harder to do, but I do know that a lot of my friends, and I have one as well in my backyard, and there's also a lot of places that you can now go to that have these things, and it is trampolines. I find trampolines are really good ways to exercise because you're jumping up and down a lot, and that uses a lot of muscles. And if you've ever been trampolining before for a long time, you can find that it tires yourself out a lot, and it's because you're using a lot of energy to get yourself up and down every single time. I have a trampoline in my backyard, so normally I try and make sure that I go on it at least once a day to make sure that I'm, keeping up on my exercise. It's something that you can do that's really, really easy. But obviously, if you don't have a trampoline in your backyard, either try and go on your friends all the time, or you can try and find a trampolining place. I do know that these things are getting a lot more popular, and there's a lot more of these sort of places that they have heaps of trampolines on the walls and on the ground. So definitely, if you can maybe try and get yourself to one of those places during the holidays, that's a really fun thing to do, and also it'll definitely get you to be active and have heaps of exercise. Alright, my fourth one is dancing. Dancing is such a good way to exercise and so fun. I did this a heap last holidays. Last holidays it was spring, kind of, winter spring holidays, so definitely I had to stay indoors a lot more because it was raining a lot more, and dancing is a great way to stay exercised. I find dancing is so fun because you can either do it with your siblings or with your friends, or you can even do it by yourself, and it's actually really good because you can do it for as long as you like and you don't really get bored of it. I definitely love doing dancing, and I think that it is a great way to stay exercised during the holidays. Alright guys, my fifth tip is something that isn't really that much to do with exercising, but it is really fun to do, and I do think that it has an element of exercise to it, and it's yoga or relaxation. I think that any type of relaxation kind of sport or something is very good, and yoga I think is actually really good for your muscles, because if you need to go up into certain poses, then obviously they will use different muscles. So maybe something like a candlestick might require your stomach muscles, other, poses might require other muscles. So that's a really good way to feel exercised but also really relaxed. So if you're someone who doesn't like to, get really sweaty or really, tired, yoga or some type of relaxation is really, really good. Alright guys, my sixth tip is sports, but these kind of sports don't need to be like football or netball or something like that. They can be quite fun ones that you might do with your family. Something like bowling is a really good way to kind of stay exercised, and it's really fun as well. And it uses your arm a lot, because I think when you bowl the ball, you need to, have some type of strength in your arm. So if you do that at least once in the holidays, that's a really good way to stay exercised. Another sport that might be really fun to do is something like tennis. I love tennis. I play it every week, after school and stuff like that. But obviously, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I've played it with my friends before and it's actually really fun. And again, that uses your legs and your arms, because you need to run for the ball, but then again, when you need to hit the ball, that kind of uses your shoulder and more of your arm. Another different sport that I knew one of my friends used to do was Taekwondo or Kung Fu. Now this is a bit of a different one, and maybe you wouldn't be able to do this during the holidays, but I do know that Kung Fu and Taekwondo are very good ways to kind of get out your anger, and also are very good ways to exercise, because you use every single muscle in your body. You obviously use your legs for kicks, use your arms for blocks and punches, all of those type of things. So I would definitely recommend any type of sport during the holidays, and you don't need to do it, as an after school activity, when school starts up again. It can just be for something you might do with your family, such as bowling. You might go play tennis with your friends, and maybe even do a Kung Fu class. So yeah, that is my sixth tip, I think. And now we're on to number 7. Okay, my 7th tip and the very last one is walking or running. Now this is something that I think you kind of got to commit yourself to, and it's really, really good way to maybe do it with your dad or your mum or even a friend. I mentioned this in my New Year's resolution video. I think it's really good to maybe try and go on a walk or run maybe each week with maybe a friend or family member, because then they can motivate you to do it, and then you can motivate them. Now obviously I mentioned I went more into that on my New Year's resolutions video, so you guys can go and check that out if you'd like to see it. But what I'm trying to get at is that is another really good way to exercise. Obviously this one you kind of know that you're exercising. All the other ones I've mentioned are sort of fun and you don't really know that you're exercising. But if you do want to do walking or running, that is a great way to exercise, but you do know that you are exercising when you're doing it. That's all fine. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to do, and I've done it a little bit with my dad, and I also did it a little bit with my brother last year. And I think a great way to make sure that you keep on exercising if you're very into running or walking is to try and do it each day or each week or something like that, and definitely try and get a friend or family member involved with you, because that's a great way when you're running or walking, because then you can talk to them, catch up on your days, whatsoever. I don't know what you guys want to do, but I definitely think that that is another good tip. But yeah. That one you do need to be more committed to, but I thought I'd mention it in this video anyway. Alrighty, and that's all my tips for this video. I really do hope that this helped you to make sure that you guys can stay active during the holidays, but have fun staying active. Sometimes I can find myself thinking, oh my god, I don't know, I want to stay exercised, but I don't think I can do it. With these tips that I've given you, you don't actually feel like you're exercising, but you are, and it's really, really, really fun to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!